yes.
Can't wait?
Yeah.
I can feel the enthusiasm. Is everyone ready for change?
Yes, yes. Anytime.
You know what we're talking about today, right? There's a wonderful book called Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody read it? I read it about twice a year, but I keep forgetting, so I don't think we can ever talk about it too much.
My cheese.
Oh, it's a wonderful book.
My husband ate my cheese.
We're going to talk about that now. I mean, I'm telling you, there's a lot. This is just a simple, probably take you an hour and a half to read it, maybe 2 hours if you're like me. And it's a great little book because to me, has our market changed lately?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
ridiculous.
tremendously.
It keeps changing.
Could you tell me what the author is?
It is Spencer Johnson.
Okay.
This is my very last copy. I usually give away copies. I give away too many. Every morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Every morning, at 2 minutes before the hour, on KFDK, Kelly Brothers does the 10-year bond report. Okay? So I can get a feel for that, which way rates are going that day. Interest rates, because the interest rates are directly tied to the 10-year bond rate. They actually do it at the 28-minute, on the hour, and 58. So it's twice an hour. He does a quick blip, and he gives me that. Ever since I can remember, I always tune into the radio when I see the clock right at that time as I'm coming in, because it helps me feel confident with rates. All right? Like forever. So this morning, or just like a week ago, it's not on there. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, this is my mainstay. I mean, this is my thing, right? So I listened to them, and they moved them to like 21 minutes past the hour and 37. I mean, it's like,
You gotta keep listening.
it's
all
totally messing me
hour
up.
long.
I haven't heard it in a week. I'm trying to find it this morning. It's stressing me out. And I'm like, I was thinking about like just changes going on in my life. I know that might seem like a little simple one to you, but I counted on that every time, and they changed it.
Well, you based your day on that.
I based my day on it.
Yes, for him.
Huh?
I know that.
So I'm trying to figure out how to handle it, and how to deal with this change. I can.
Pick up the telephone.
I'm going to have to memorize. I'm not those kind of people, but I literally was going to email them to their site and say, hey, you need to fix that. But anyway, my whole routine got put out of whack because they do that, this, and that. I know what's going on, so I'm trying to adjust to that.
We'll find out why they did that.
I'm going to find out. I'm just saying, do I have any control of that? And so what can I do? I mean, I can get all bent out of shape.
Because you can't control it. You can Google it. If you can't change it.
I can't, well, I can Google it, but it's going to change my pattern. I do it in the car when I'm driving. So am I going to have to come to the office now and Google that?
Driving around here.
I don't want to change, okay? And the older I get, the less I want to change. Am I the only one like that?
No.
But I always think if
You're not even over yet.
if I make an effort to try and change it, at least I did something.
I think that's good, but
If everybody, like FDR, they were gonna take it off, and everybody wrote in, and they're keeping it on. That is really a good station to get into. They tell about the, corn prices, and that was really educational for us to move there from California after living our lives in California. They have these different, you walk in there, and it literally is out to the public. You can walk in there and see things. Rates, and then you get to talking to people, and they really control their corn. They don't want to sell their corn until it's a high price.
bottom line, I think it's always going to be changing, which I'm still trying to get used to. Our goal today is to become change experts.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that. I think we'll all have happier lives if we can do that. Now, real quick, we're doing this today. I'm sorry it's 2 seminars the same day, but at 1 o'clock, this guy's coming in, Dominic Brandon. You guys know him or heard him speak?
Is he in the YPN? Is he part of the YPN group?
I don't know what he
Social
is.
media. Isn't he? Social media?
I don't know. Well, not that I know of. He's the president of paperlesshomesales.com.
Ah.
And he said he's a realtor and he's also training these classes, but he's been doing it, I guess, for a couple of years. He claims he's totally paperless as a realtor from start to finish. So he's going to bring his Apple. That's what I said. I don't think so. So he's coming in. Others have heard him speak. They said he's great. So if you can make this, you're more than welcome to attend to that. Is this change?
Yes.
I will bet you money within a not so long amount of time, we won't be writing up contracts. When I say we, I mean you as realtors, it'll all be done like they're doing this. I'll bet you money that's going to happen. all right?
Yeah, but you gotta get the big companies or the big organizations to the big.
Oh, no, I agree, it's a ways out, but I'm just saying, we can all say, no, I'm not gonna, you know, like, one of my favorite change things is, I used to have realtors say, I'm not showing my buyers any short sales. Nope, not gonna do that.
You're not
That's
showing
too-
property then.
You don't have a choice now, but for a while there, you know, you did have a choice, not anymore. That's changed. This is change. I think it's coming either way. My 8-track tape, I guess I can throw away my player now because I don't think 8-tracks are coming back. I'm waiting for them. You guys remember that? We got older. Can you remember that?
How about DVDs?
Yeah, I thought phonograph.
I get all my movies now. I rarely go to the movies anymore. I got a thing called Vudu. Instant Demand costs me $7-10, and I get like the latest movies at home. It's crazy. We'll see what happens. They're going to close the blockbusters down everywhere I go. Okay, so we got that. I've got a CD finally. Took me a while. These are closing skills.
We're just gonna have to shred those later.
Shred these? I know this is going to be obsolete.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is Todd Screama and Jim Bass, a big realtor, talking about closing skills.
Obsolete.
This is a key, all these are good, but this is an extra good one. One of the best closing lines I ever heard. I don't think it's good things are simple, I think. So to me is, hey Mark, can I be your lender? That's a closing question right there. As a realtor, can you say that? Hey,
Chris, can
Joe.
I be your realtor?
hey Joe, can I be your realtor? What's the worst thing they're going to say? No? One of my favorite ones is to call financial planners, CPAs, estate planners, divorce attorneys, and say, hey, Mr. Divorce Attorney, when someone asks you for the referral of a realtor, what do you tell them?
My wife.
I'll bet you half of them, more than, I'm doing some tests now, I gave some realtors some homework, I'm doing some tests. I predict over half of them will say, I don't really have anybody. Well, what do you say after that? I mean, it's kind of open. So, closing skills we're talking about can be very simple. What if you were to say 10 times, hey, can I be your realtor? There was a lady, oh, I know you guys know her. I want to say, Pat Sidey, is she up in El Dorado Hills?
Yep, yes.
She's been around forever. She's a monster big realtor, right? I was fortunate enough to have her come on a panel once, and I got to interview her ahead of time. I was introducing her. And you know what her big system was? She handed out 10 cards a day. She said this is what built her. 10 cards a day and said, hey, I'd like to be your realtor. Could have been the waiter, could have been the gas station attendant when we used to have those. Remember we used to pump our own, or couldn't pump your own gas? So,
yeah.
all these changes, but that was her simple system. That's a great closing technique. So, Todd's a little direct on here, don't get your feelings hurt. He starts off by saying we're all horrible closers. Alright, so I get past that a little bit. Alright, any questions on closing?
Is he more like Mike Ferry, sort of like stick your door in the back, foot in the back door and don't let him close it?
No. Mike Ferry I'd put in a unique category. Yeah, he's probably the most aggressive one that I know. Todd's not quite like, Todd's more into technique.
Are you talking about the original Mike Ferry or his son that's taken over?
That's right, I don't know much about his son, but I heard he's taken over. So,
Yeah, but I heard his son is.
Yeah, his son is last.
okay, so before we get
I
into
don't think it was as good.
our topic, this came across my desk and I just want to share this with you because I thought this was just wonderful, okay? This is the 10 things extraordinary people say every day. Isn't that a catchy topic? You guys can kind of guess here, but I'm going to start off with number 10. You ready? Here's what I'm thinking. And then explains it a little bit. You're in charge, but that doesn't mean you're smarter, savvier, or more insightful than everyone else. Back up your statements and decisions. Give reasons why, justify with logic, not just a position of authority. That's just a little thing, but it's a nice way to say it. Here's what I'm thinking. As opposed to, Mark, this is what you're going to do. You know what I mean? I find people that are clever like that get more done. Number 2, I was wrong. That's a big one, huh? I've never said that. I once came up with what I thought was an awesome plan to improve overall productivity by moving the entire crew to a different shift on the open line. The inconvenience of the crew was considerable, but the payoff seemed worth it. On paper, it was perfect. In practice, it wasn't. So a few weeks later, I ended up telling everybody I was wrong. And it turned out me letting them know that just saying, hey, I was wrong, I screwed up, helped build more morale and command for everybody.
That fits with your radio program.
That they are wrong?
No, not necessarily. You haven't found out yet whether they are or you are.
We'll find out, somebody is. Number 3, that was awesome. No one gets enough praise. You guys all get that, especially Ben, I find, all right? Pick someone, pick anyone who does something well and say, wow, that was great, how you, whatever they do. Feel free to back at any time and say, hey, I was thinking about how you handled that issue last month, and just to make a positive impact today is whatever then. It can make an even bigger impact. It still shows you remember what happened last month and you still think about it. Praise is a gift that costs the giver nothing, but is priceless to the recipient. We can't get enough praise. I know this is basic stuff, but I thought these are the things I want coming out of my mouth every day. All right, this was a big one for me. You're welcome. Now listen to this. This one got me because I've had this happen. Think about a time you gave a gift and the recipient seemed uncomfortable or awkward. The reaction took away a little bit from the fun for you, right? The same thing can happen when you are thanked or complimented or praised. Don't spoil the moment or the fun for the person. The spotlight may make you feel uneasy, but all you have to do is make sure to make eye contact, say thank you, or make eye contact and say you're welcome, I was glad to do it. I would have people do something, oh no, it was nothing, no, it was nothing. You know? No, accept it and say you're welcome. All right, another big one, you ready? Can you help me? How come we have a hard time asking for help? Or I have a hard time asking for help. When you need help, regardless of the type of help you need or the person you need it from, just say sincerely and humbly, can you help me? I promise you'll get the help, and in the process you'll show vulnerability, respect, and a willingness to listen, which by the way are all great qualities of a leader. Pretty good? Okay. Okay, now they're getting a little harder here. Next one. I'm sorry. We all make mistakes, so we all have things we need to apologize for. Words, actions, omissions, failing to step up, show your support. Just say you're sorry. Okay? Well, by the way, never follow an apology with a disclaimer like, but I was really mad. It's going to take away from it. Next one. These are 10 things extraordinary people say every day. Can you show me? Advice is temporary, knowledge is forever. Knowing what to do helps, but knowing how to do it or why to do it means everything. When you ask to be taught or shown, several things happen. You implicitly show you respect the person given the advice. You show trust for his or her experience, skill, and insight. You get better access and value for the advice. Don't just ask for input, ask to be taught or trained. Then you both win. This applies, I think, in every area of your life. My 12-year-old daughter is having trouble in math. So we went to the teacher and all that, and they said, look, when you're doing the homework, ask her to teach you to it like you don't understand it, which I really don't understand a lot of it. So I started asking my daughter to teach me this stuff, and it just makes it so much easier. We can do this with our clients. Next one. This is number 9. Only one more. I love you. No, not at work, but everywhere you mean it and every time you feel it. All right? And the last one, you want to guess what the last thing extraordinary people say every day? It's a trick question.
Forget it.
Thank you.
Nothing. Sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. If you're upset, frustrated, or angry, stay quiet. You may think venting will make you feel better, but it never does. That's especially true when your employees are concerned. Results come and go, but feelings are forever. Criticize an employee in a group setting and it will seem like eventually they got over it, but they never will. Before you speak your mind, consider how others will think and feel with what you're about to say. All right, that was the top 10.
Those are really
You only
great.
gave 9.
Yeah.
You only gave 9.
No, I
No,
Betty was counting. I know, I numbered them. She did, look at that. Checking on you.
You forgot the nothing part.
But that's
No, I
okay, you
got
could
the
say
nothing.
that
Okay.
you were wrong.
here's what I'm thinking. I was wrong.
Right,
That was awesome.
right,
You're welcome.
yes,
Can you help me?
right,
I'm sorry.
right,
Can you show me?
right.
Oh. You know what, Benny? Nice job. Nothing by you. Let me give you a hand.
There you go.
That was number 8.
Yeah.
Many people see asking for help as a sign of weakness. So many people hesitate to ask for help, but everyone needs help. Don't just say, is there anything I can help you with? Most people will give you a version of the reflexive no. I'm just looking, no, I'm all right. Be specific. Find something you can help with.
Can we get a copy of that?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Those are great.
Yeah,
Those are good. 10 things people
Well, you
say.
know, it's really interesting. Some of those is like, you know, when you de-edify somebody, like criticizing an employee in a group setting, you think that I'm one-on-one you. But what happens when I'm de-edifying you, I'm really losing respect for the other people around me because I'm showing them that I don't respect you as a human being.
Yep.
You know, and it really sounds crazy. Like when we brought the Cav back in Vietnam, we had drugs and people shooting each other and all kinds of stuff. We're to teach the young officers and the NCOs all the stuff that's on there. Like the young officer doesn't know anything about a deuce and a half or, you know, patching a guy up in combat. For him to go to the NCO or the Spec 4 and saying, hey, you know, could you show me how to do that? I saw it once or twice, but I've never done it hands-on. Boy, that just, it sounds stupid, the officer asking the Spec 4, but boy, that officer just took 3 steps up because that young man really now respects his LT because he showed that he needed help.
Yep.
Yeah, super stuff on there.
Cost nothing. And it's very powerful. Yes.
Be careful how you say, I'm sorry, because it could be sarcasm.
I'm sorry.
I feel like I apologize, forgive me, is a step above that.
No, I think that's an excellent point. Where that can also be a problem, text and emails. You can't tell the tone in a text and email or it might come off bad. I had a lady, this happened last week, she ripped me and said I blamed her for something that happened because she wanted me to text her, so I texted her and I called, no, that's not what I meant at all. Or I couldn't even see how she got that. When I reread the text, how I wrote it, it kind of looked like I was blaming her, but I wasn't. So.
You know, I know that social media is the thing, and we're seeing more and more stuff. I just got a thing yesterday that says, we will now, for $39.95 a month, send text messages to all of your clients once a month or something like that. But we have to be careful because we are losing the humanality, the relationship part of the business. And you can text some short things, hey, when am I going to get my documents, copies tomorrow? But anything outside of stuff like that, you really need to be on the phone. Say, hey, Chris, I hear you got a problem. Hey, Chris, by the way, you're seeing stuff go back and forth. Just know that we're still working on the short sale. We're sending stuff between your buyer and the negotiator and trying to come to a meeting of the minds. So whatever you see, just trust it. I've already reviewed it. Please go ahead and sign it. It's a lot different saying that to you on the phone than saying, hey, you're going to see a lot of stuff, sign what Summit sent you.
I agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
One thing I don't think that's changed since I've been in the business for 22 years, or actually probably forever, is personal relationships. Why do people work with you?
They know you and they trust you.
That's it. That's it. So I love social media, I love all that stuff, but I think it's losing its effect a little bit. Like, it's funny, I'm on Facebook and I have a couple realtors, well, more than one that are on Facebook, but like once a day I'm getting a Facebook post from them now, and I can tell it's not them. It's like they've signed up for something. You know what I mean? And so it's losing its effect a little bit. So, okay, 10 great things. We will copy this. I love this. Thanks for letting me share it. I thought it wasn't really related to our topic, but
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
probably kind of one of the overall
Very
things.
good, thank you.
What I find in this market, and I met with some realtors yesterday, I think you guys, I asked them how's it going, we did a little roundtable, and they all said, well, I feel like I'm on the beach getting just smashed around and the rocks by waves just hit me and I'm just getting knocked all over the place. I think, and this is not a negative thing, I think the market right now for realtors and lenders is about as hard as it's been, and I've been in it for 22 years, because there's, one, it's hard to get your offer accepted because there's not enough houses, but the emotional charge that seems to be out there puts us in charge of people from a mental management standpoint, like we're psychiatrists almost. You know what I mean? We got heated people out there, and we have to control as best we can their emotions. You know what I mean? For example, no, you need to offer above asking price, right? I mean, if you don't push them to do that, probably you stand a chance of losing the client because they're going to make 5 offers and then be mad at you because they didn't get accepted and go pick a different realtor. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So it's a little crazy on that.
Well, we're seeing more and more bidding. I've been around a long time. I've got 35 years in. I have never seen a market this tough. Normally in every market, 84, 90, 95, 2000, 2004, there was some kind of a niche that you could switch to. There's always something open out there. You know, we had assumabilities, non-assumabilities, land contracts. I mean, there's always a hole that you can stick a finger in. Now, when you take a look at the aggregate of our business, whether it's, and you take lending and sales for the two major ones, and you put them together, as you know, I know in our mortgage broker business, we've got the bankers selling the secondary market before they give us an approval. So you're going to approve me, but you're holding my approval because you want secondary market. So now we have 2 people having to give us an approval with all kinds of underwriting additionals at the last minute.
Yes.
You know.
I wish all the realtors knew that.
Yeah, and then you have this. Now you have flip sellers, who, if you don't do an extension in writing, you're not going to get your extension because they put that house back on the market, get multiple offers, and make another $20,000.
Yep.
I mean, the stuff is really hitting the fan out there, and so many of our agents, as a general term, which is not always true, they teach in symbolic logic, came on board in the early 2000s where you could throw a piece of paper against the wall and it sticks, and have not been taught to really handle the minutia, the small items in a contract, and that's coming back to haunt us now because Ken Dick from Keller Williams, Pope from Coldwell Banker, Paula Gillette, you sit and talk to all of them, we're all having the same trouble. Buyers and sellers are walking and changing contracts at the last minute, all based on what's not in the contract, and are out there looking for higher prices or better deals.
It's crazy. It's crazy, yeah.
Last week, we went and showed offers. We went and looked at 3 houses that's been on the market more than 30 days. We thought, fine, you know, no one's putting any offers on these. You know, we'll give them a few $1,000s over what they're asking for. And before the end of the day, there was 3 pending. We didn't even get a chance to get in there. You know, it's like, no one looked at them for 30 days, and now...
So that sounds like more change.
Who moved my cheese?
What a good topic. Let's talk about who moved my cheese now. Okay.
Great book. You read that?
Before we get into that, I'm going to share with you one of the biggest changes that's happened in my life over the last 2 years, okay, on the business side of things. They took us, I've been originating loans for 22 years, and they said, hey, from now on, when you meet with a client and you give them the numbers on a piece of paper and you disclose it to them, if you forget any or underestimate any fee, including seller's fees, you, the lender, have to pay them.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
And they put brand new software on top of us to do this that I couldn't understand. I was contemplating getting out of the business, this was about 18 months ago when this hit, 2 years ago. I mean, I cried, physical tears. I didn't know what to do. I had clients come in, I would have a client come in and say, this is what you're looking at, and they'd say, can I get that in writing? And I'd say, nope. Well, what's about this? If you want to take some notes, you can. We actually did that for a couple weeks. We didn't know what the hell was going on. Excuse my language. It was brutal. Okay? So we went through that, and I finally got through it. Well, it's kind of every day. It's still a pain in the fanny.
It's a learning process.
The other thing that took place is they fixed our compensation. Okay? Whether I do Betty's loan or my mom's loan or my brother's loan, I can't give anybody a deal anymore. And I can't make a whole bunch of money on a loan. Alright? So I almost quit over that one too. This is ridiculous telling me what I can and cannot do. Blah, 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 blah. Now, what happened out of both of those events that took place?
Change.
One, we got rid of a bunch of crappy lenders. I'm sorry, but there's still some of them out there right now, but we got rid of a bunch of crappy lenders. That was a great thing. Two, we no longer have borrowers getting gouged on deals. There was many lenders who would close like one deal every other month and make 15 grand on it. I'm telling you, I knew a couple of them. They're gone.
Yeah.
Because they can't live on doing it. They have to learn the actual business now and do a couple, 3 a month to survive. So I look back on that. I think it's beautiful. It was a great thing. Okay? It was a great thing. Now, all of this wave crashing, us getting knocked in the waves and all this inventory gone, I think it's a great thing. Okay? Why is it a great thing?
Because you're on the
You're not a realtor.
It gets rid of
No, it's, lenders, we're still getting pounded.
it gets rid of the ones that.
It's going to get rid of a bunch of realtors. I'm sorry. The ones that are skilled and professional are going to make it, and I know some realtors having their best year ever, like in 20 years. I have some realtors just killing, okay? But they have to change. They have to become the change expert, masters of change, okay? So what I want you guys to do right now, I want you to write down 1 or 2 things, actually, 1 personal thing that was the biggest change in the year and 1 business over the last 2 years. What's the biggest change you've seen happen? Okay? Think about it. I bet you there's more than you think. I don't know how much has changed. What's happened in the last, say, 2 years? What's been your biggest change in business and your biggest change in personal that you had to deal with? Everybody got a couple? Okay. I have a 12-year-old daughter. She's going through some change right now.
12 going on 24.
Anybody here raise a daughter?
I don't know, 3 of them.
Woo, people were telling me about it. I
Put
didn't
your
thought,
seatbelt on.
not my kid. I have a special relationship with my kid. This won't happen.
Put your seatbelt on.
And 12's nothing.
She goes in her room, locks the door, and won't let me come in.
Wait till she's 13.
I'm all like, huh?
Wait till she's a teenager.
Oh, I
It
think
doesn't
she's
get better until she's like
I'm
18,
just saying.
19.
Not yet.
That's a big change going on in my personal life, okay? I have 3 brothers. I did not grow up with girls. This is a big deal to me.
Yeah.
I need to like connect and tell me. She won't tell me. She won't tell me what's going on. My own daughter. I guess that's the way it is. So I'm still working on it. I'll
Yeah.
trick her. I'll get her to talk. But anyway. All right. Anybody want to share some changes that's going on? Betty.
Before, we were always used to dealing with regular sales, just equity sales. Now, mostly we deal with short sales and REOs.
Huge change. Huge change.
Although it's changing, it's getting much more active.
So it's changing again?
Yes.
It's not just a one-time change.
Well, it's because the prices
Oh.
have gone up and now people are changing it. So it's,
I still remember those short sales first. Everybody's freaking out now. Those short sales aren't that big of a deal, really. Although I hear they're tightening up a little bit more on
they
the
just
back
take
end.
forever.
What else? What are some other changes people have going on?
Technology.
Be specific. What about it?
Changing constantly. Whenever you learn something and then there's something else out there to learn.
Yep. You guys got to learn the Connect system or the back end. There's like a new
The
software
older you
system.
get, the harder it is to.
I agree with that. I don't like to say things like that, but I agree with that, just so you know.
What did you say?
I don't want to change. I get it all perfect, just like I like it, and then somebody changes it.
Constantly.
Lori.
I am in the process of becoming a minimalist.
What's a minimalist?
I didn't know either.
That's all you need.
But my niece taught it to me. It's just basically doing without a lot of stuff. Just getting rid of the stuff. And so, you know, we've gone from a 6,000 square foot home down
This
to
is the stuff.
1850 square foot. So tons of furniture and stuff is just going. to Goodwill, and it's just awesome. It's a great feeling, but it's kind of a big journey.
You're not alone in that. I was doing some research on that, and I was talking to my brother up in Oregon. There's a big movement of people want to downsize, want to just get clutter free.
I think it's really much bigger than what we think
Yeah.
out there, and I think it really impacts our industry, because as we're taking people out and they're shopping for homes, helping them see the bright side of downsizing instead of feeling like they're losing something. It's freeing.
All that stuff just brings you down. I used to live in David's neighborhood in a big house, and I took all my stuff and gave it away. Everything I had except for my bed, my desk, a chair, and a little love seat that I bought to fit in my place. I can count my cups, I can count my dishes, I know exactly what I've got, I can tell you exactly what's in my refrigerator at any given point, and it is the best thing that I ever did in my whole entire life. I don't have all that garbage weighing me down, and you don't need it, because when you pass on, nobody wants your crap, and that's really what it comes down to, right? They just don't want it. And we're saving it for nothing, so that's my 2 cents.
Well,
That was the
I
best
tried
thing
to
ever did.
give, my kids flew in to help us with the packing and everything, and I said, hey, look at all the stuff you can have. They go, Mom, we want none of it. Seriously? I paid good money for this stuff. You know, they don't even want it.
I think there's a country song that says, I've never seen a luggage rack on a hearse.
That's awful.
That is awful.
It's a song, it's true.
What is that?
So,
Never seen a luggage rack on a
The
hearse.
luggage rack, yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
so, and it's all our perspective. That's what I'm learning too.
Yeah.
It's all what makes us happy in our attitude. So, when we get the unhappy client or the listing that doesn't sell, it's a perspective, how we're going to look at it. So I love this topic today. Anybody else want to share? Big changes going on?
I think that in this market, people are feeling more desperate, and desperate brings out acts of desperation. So in my personal life, I'm finding more tenants acting kind of bizarre, and I'm sure you're all seeing it with your clients, because desperation breeds really some action that we weren't dealing with when the market's good. When the market's good, people don't care. Hey, they'll
I agree
overlook
100%.
something. But when the market's desperate, they'll go after every nook and cranny. So I'm seeing a lot of that.
No, it's harder to manage your clients now, I think.
I think we're becoming, if you're really doing your job, we're becoming counselors.
Yes.
You have to really,
Very different.
really walk. I've got a client who's going through a nasty divorce, kids are involved, house is involved, business is involved. And for me, about 3 weeks ago, I said, we just need to close all this up, and we're going to go in the other room, and we discussed faith, basically, and moved in a whole different direction. I said, if you buy into what I buy into, that's great. If not, go check out Buddha, check out something, but you need to get recentered someplace, because you can't handle all this on your. I mean, I got home 3 hours later, my wife says, what did you do, sell 3 houses? I said, no, I actually walked away without paperwork being signed.
But chances are it will be because of the personal relationship. I think more so than ever before, the personal relationship is key. I love social media, I love emails, I love all that stuff, but none of it is important as the personal relationship. So,
I feel like social media, and you get under those, too much time passes. I mean, you're just like, oh my gosh, no accomplishment, because you haven't talked to that person and seen their opinion. To me, other person's opinion is important.
I agree.
To which way you're going to move. And I had an experience not too long ago, well, it was this last week, and I had, we belong to prepaid legal, and I had problems with a tenant, so I got, but anyway, to move on from that, they had this website they send to you, they don't do email. And in the meantime, during that week, Yahoo was down a couple, 2 or 3 days. I couldn't get on. I spent 45 minutes on the phone, time and time again. And AT&T, then finally somebody said, oh, well, Yahoo's down. And I talked to somebody at the bank, and she says, I know how you feel. They just, so what do we do if we're all depending on that, and we don't have that little piece of paper that you have? I called them and said, I've got to have a hard copy, But I did find it last night, and I was able to use their, well, he said a lot of people can't use the website. That wasn't it. When I got it and found it, I found the stuff I didn't think was sent. It did, they received it, it came back, and the stuff they sent, I pulled it up. But it's just the whole idea. We're all in faith of these technology, new things. What are we gonna do if it's all gone?
You guys remember that meteor shower that came through a couple weeks ago? I was just waiting for a satellite to go out and everybody's iPhones to go off. You know? I think we'd all kill each other, be the end of the world.
Don't talk that way.
Did you see the thing on, was on Fox and CNN where we actually have people trying to stop the meteors as a program for 2004? I mean, sort of, what's that one movie where the meteor,
Bruce Willis,
yeah, where they go out and they blow up the meteor?
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like, it's really scary because they were showing the actuarials and the size of the meteors and catastrophic events of meteors hitting the earth. I mean, yeah.
It could happen. So, we're going to need to adjust to some change, right?
Right.
We're sure of that. So, who moved my
That
cheese?
tells you how to handle it.
No.
Solves all problems.
I like minimal, what did you say?
Minimalist.
Minimalist. Okay, so who moved my cheese? Real quick. We got 4 mice, right? You guys remember their names?
No.
Sniff, Scurry, Him, and Haw. Okay, 4 little mice. Okay, they're stuck in a place and they're living high on the hog and everything's good, right? And all of a sudden they run out of cheese. Okay, so the food's gone. So how do they react inside of their maze when the food's gone? All right, so let's break it down just a little bit. The maze represents where we spend our lives.
Yeah.
Are we good with that? Okay, that's really the maze. So for us, a lot of it's at work. That's where we spend the most of our lives. The cheese represents what we want most in life. Okay? We all have different kinds of cheese. Okay? For me, basically now, it's my kids. Okay? They're my cheese right now. I mean, that's really what makes me happy. We pursue cheese because we believe it will make us happy. Okay? So like a lot of times people say, oh, if I just make a lot of money, money's my cheese, it'll make me happy. Probably not. Okay? That's probably not really what's going to make you happy. I love hearing Lori about minimalizing things because if you got rid of everything, or in your case too, what's really going to make you happy then? Alright? And by the way, is it important to be happy? This is a business class, but the happier you are, the more homes you will sell, I promise you. People are attracted to happier people. So maybe this will help you get a little happier too. So we've got the maize, we've got the cheese. The cheese gets moved and they all react differently. Okay? So let's look at a characteristic of Sniff. Sniff sniffs out change early. Alright? He's always looking for what to do. Scurry, he just goes into action. Right? You know, you think about people like this, you know people like this, right? I mean, they're just different personality types. Him and Haw fears and resist change, and they learn to adapt when they see others doing it. Right? Like I think about when the short sales first started hitting, there was a couple of realtors who got out there right away and did it. Others waited, and then to see if everybody else is okay, then I'll jump in. Right? And then there's him and Haw who kind of just fear and resist change, and they're just going to totally wait completely. See what happens. Maybe never do anything. Maybe they die. Right? Because the book talks about the cheese. You either change or die is one of the lines in the book.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is kind of the game that goes on. Alright? And it talks about the things that happen to them during their journey to try to find new cheese and survive. Does that kind of paint a picture for everybody? So, what was that?
Not a pretty one, but
Not a pretty one. So, I want you to write down right now, which one of these is most like you? Are you more like Sniff, more like Scurry, or Him and Haw?
I'm scary.
Write that down. I want you to get that. Which one are you?
Yep. I'm a Haw, and I know it. Oh, it goes together.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yep, pretty much. See, but don't think
Yeah.
I want you to write that down, and I want you to write down what your cheese is. First thing that comes to mind. You can change it later, but it's important to know what your cheese is. What's your cheese? I'm always going to worry about my kids, but they're going to be out of high school in 5 years. So right now, that's really my cheese, and then they're going to be more on their own. But for me right now, that's really where my focus is, to take care of them. That's my cheese. I want them to be able to do certain things, have certain things available to them. That's why I want to work hard, make sure there's money available for them. Although that's not what's going to make them happy. All right, let's have some fun. Who thinks they're most like Sniff? Any hands? Sniffs it out early. Interesting. Who thinks they're more like Scurry? Just go right to action.
Wouldn't you be sniff first and then scurry after?
And there's no particular order.
Okay, well, I would sniff it out, and then I would scurry.
This is true. And then who's more like him and Ha? Pretty interesting. Even split pretty much all the way around there. Now,
Sometimes that too.
let's be honest. We're all a mixture of these. We have dominant tendencies, but we need them all, right? I mean, if all you did was sniff things out and that's it, you'd fail. If all you did was took action and didn't think about anything, you'd fail. If all you did was just wait for everything else to happen, you'd fail. So we need all of these, is what I think. We need them all. We have to play these roles at different times. Does that make sense? Okay. Anybody want to share what their cheese is? It's kind of personal. You don't have to.
I will.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's cheese, but to relax more often, have less anxiety, and just have fun.
Peace of mind, maybe? Is that another way of saying it?
Yeah, just not, let things affect you so much. Which, could be,
So a sense of calmness?
I think so.
To have things not affect you so much.
Well, just everyday things, it just seems like there's a lot of, I don't want to call it anxiety, 'cause I don't feel that way, but just, which all has to do with more money and things, but I still think the more money you make, the more you spend, so you're just going to be a little wheel anyway. But, so that's not necessarily money as it is.
I agree with that. I would classify that as peace of mind. I mean, it's whatever it is to you, but yeah. I hired a coach 6 weeks ago to help me with that. It's exactly what I'm trying to get help with. So I'm letting out all this things kind of like get me now, and this rattling and everything. And so I believe in hiring a coach, and this guy's helped me with some exercises and things like that to do. So, yeah, Betty.
Mine's to have all of my rentals paid off completely.
I'm going to give you a piece of cheese. Or
That's
that's
a
your
big
cheese.
piece of cheese,
Mhm.
a big one.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good cheese, I'll take yours.
What else? Any other cheeses? Mark, what's your cheese?
I don't know.
It's worth thinking about.
Yeah, having the house paid off early.
House paid off. Yeah. How long you been married?
3 years.
3 years. You want to start a family someday, maybe, or something
Yeah,
like that?
that'd be good cheese.
That might be some cheese. There's a lot. It's worth thinking this because this is another disguise for your big why, really. And your big why is what's going to help you to be happier and go out there and do more. And I'm going to say every area of your life. That's why it's important to recognize the cheese. The first time I ever heard of this book, and it was our president, Todd Screamer. This was a long time ago. His cheese was his loan partner. He was like just one of his favorite people in the world, and she passed. And the title of the letter he put out was, "My cheese got moved again." You know what I mean? And it was just a touching letter, but it got me thinking about the bigger types of things in life. Your cheese is like that fun stuff. Things you really appreciate. Okay. I had some notes, I've read this book literally probably 20 times, things that got to me. One of them was, don't take things so serious. I stress over pursuing what I think will make me happy. And I love that. And Laura, you kind of tied into that, and so did you, of what you think will make you happy. There's a book called Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. I'm not a big reader, but one of my favorite books of all times. And he says, an idiot gets happiness from things. A warrior gets happiness from nothing at all. And really, if you can get to that point, we're getting a little deep here, but if you can get to that point where a physical thing won't make you happy, it can't be taken away from you. You know what I mean? And so that's where I think kind of to get to that level, this stuff gets me thinking about that.
What was the name of the book?
Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. It's probably 15 years old now. The guy's from Petaluma. And they actually made a movie about it. The movie's not as good, but it's still entertaining.
Really?
Huh?
I didn't never see that.
Yeah. Nick Nolte's in it. So, anyway, and they have a kid version too. All right. Always monitor, he talks about always monitoring your cheese and where it's at. And for us, I think it's monitoring our numbers. How many leads do we get each month? How many deals do we close? How many listings do we have? To me, that's how we check in with our cheese as real estate agents and salespeople. Okay, we need to know what the data is, right? Him and Ha, they're the ones in the cave saying, everything will be fine. Everything, it's all good, we're good. Don't worry about it, it's all fine. The cheese was depleting, but they weren't checking it out. You gotta look at your cheese and see what's going on. So for business, I think I relate that to monitoring our numbers and looking at our numbers. Don't overanalyze. Mice have simple brains. Okay? I still say to this, and it's one of the reasons I love John David so much, he's a very simple thinker. There's nothing complicated about John David that I've found so far. Okay? And I think there's genius in that. Don't freak out when things go so bad. Don't stay in the past when you have to, we talked about that. Don't blame others for the situation you're in. I mean, I get caught doing that once in a while. This was a big one for me. Working harder doesn't always work. Okay? So him and Ha kept going to Cheese Station C and just tearing it apart, thinking, it's got to be here. It's got to be here. The cheese has got to be here. Cheese wasn't there. I've gotten caught before working very, very hard because my father instilled that in me. I grew up on a cattle ranch. You just work hard, everything will be fine. No, that's not true. If you work really, really hard and your average sales price is $52,000, you're going to struggle. That's just the mathematics of it. So I'm working with a new realtor. I call this guy blissful ignorance. He does not know any better. It cracks me up. He used to be a golf pro, and anyway, he's working now, so he knows a lot of people. His average sales price is like $500,000. Okay? And he's not like a professional salesman by any way, shape, or form. But he knows certain people, and he's going out and doing activities and getting some business that way. Cracks me up. He doesn't know any better. That's a good model to go after, by the way. Let's raise our sales price. Fear can be a good force to help you take action. You guys agree with that? There's nothing wrong with fear. Fear plays a good role. If it paralyzes you, well, then it's not good. But fear can get that adrenaline pumping to get you to do some things you maybe don't want to do or you know you need to do. Does that make sense? Like when you can't pay your mortgage payment, they're going to take your house, all of a sudden you start door knocking. Or all of a sudden you start mailing or having those open houses or do whatever you need to do to get the business in the door. You guys know there's still plenty of business out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's still a lot of business. There's less of it, but there's still a lot there. Old beliefs do not lead you to new cheese. Okay? Old beliefs do not lead you to new cheese. I'm saying that for myself twice out loud. And the last one is we need a little bit of each. We need a little bit of each of these guys to make it work. Okay, I want to do this. I love this. Okay, what helps us change? What helps us?
Necessity.
What's a good way to help us to deal with change?
Betty said necessity is one.
Necessity? What does that mean?
It means I better get busy.
I mean, but give me something like, if you're stressing out about change, what's something that'll make you feel better?
She wants to pay off
Go to
her
work.
rent. I want to pay off all my houses.
Right? But give me something right now that'll help you deal with that change. You can't pay them off all right now,
A
right?
paradigm shift.
Huh?
A paradigm shift.
There you go.
Okay, but give me something I can use. So like I'm stressing out for change. Chris, why don't you do this? Give me an example of something I could do to make me not be so stressed out.
Look at your options.
Huh?
You have to look at your options.
Okay, so spend some time reflecting.
Yeah.
So take time. Maybe talk to others.
Fellowshipping. Knock doors.
What was that?
Knock on doors.
It doesn't have to be just work related. What are some things that help you deal with change?
Fellowship.
Fellowship. Okay, you guys get where I'm going with this stuff now? This is like a prescription. Your best friend comes to you and they're trying to deal with some change, what are some things that will help them?
Analyzing, but that would be, so I would analyze it.
Take time, reflecting,
Getting
okay?
out of your
Spreadsheet.
environment.
Okay, give me something.
Well, like,
Go away for the weekend,
go away for the weekend.
okay? So, go out of town. I like that one.
And
What else?
take a day off.
Take a day off.
That would stress me out more.
I was gone for a week, it stressed me out unbelievably, I'm just being honest with you guys, I gotta fix that. Yes,
Ask a lot of questions
to who?
to friends and colleagues.
Okay. Can we say seek advice?
Yeah. Why do you always know how to boil it down so well?
What are some other things? You guys are holding out on me, okay? What are some things you do to deal with change and stress when it comes that helps you?
Work out.
Take yourself,
Thank you, I'm sorry.
I said work out. Somebody, a
Yes,
good sweat will do it.
I like to take sometimes myself out of my comfort zone and challenge myself.
so give me an example.
Like I'm really shy sometimes, so,
Okay, so you want to say do something outside your comfort zone, okay,
Right.
okay.
So community theater. I think David would, what would be church? That's what you reflected on with your client, so.
Thank you.
I
Oh,
call-
it's okay, none of us
I-
pray or do
Well,
anything
I
when
call
we
it, I
stress.
call it daily quiet time,
Can I just
So
say,
meditation, church,
spiritual,
spiritual time, whatever you
spiritual.
want.
thank you. You
I-
guys only think of yourselves what you do to adapt to stuff. I do measured breathing. That's one of the things this coach has. I count to 10 in, count to 10 out, all right? And I do that 10 times. That makes me feel better. Then I go back and tell them their loans decline. Anything else you guys do to cope with change?
Kick the dog, beat my wife. Play golf.
Okay, I must be the only one. I'll put it down there. I'll have a drink, okay? I'm sorry, I'll have a beer or two when I'm stressing over change and it helps me, all right? I'm the only one here. Okay, I'm sorry.
What about this?
Okay, good. Oh, and then there's Xanax, right? I mean, put that out there.
Do you find having to drink though tends to get you more reflective, more analytical, and sort of moves the cycle in the wrong direction?
I cannot recommend drinking. I won't recommend it.
Some people, it makes it worse.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It's one of those
Personality
things.
thing.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just telling you what I do. It's a coping mechanism. You don't have to do all these. Oh, I saw a guy today told me I have to drink. No, that's not what's going on here, okay? Anything else you want to add to what helps? Yes.
Last night, just watching Duck Dynasty helped.
TV?
Duck Dynasty was so funny. It was the episode that you should have watched.
Funny
Because
movies,
it's
TV, you know what? Comedy? I like that one. I'll watch comedy. You guys ever go to a comedy club?
Yeah.
I'm always hurting, like your ribs hurt when you go out of there. They hurt from laughing so hard. I love that. You know, endorphins are released when you laugh. I did a whole presentation on laughter once. I did all the research. It's a crazy that, like cancer patients, they bring in Three Stooges and they show, they did samplings or whatever. The people that laugh more, that their cancer wasn't as bad. I mean, it's just funny stuff.
Watch YouTube. It's crazy.
YouTube's a blast. Anything else for helps?
spa day,
What?
spa day.
That's what I'm-
Spa day.
That's what I
Wow.
said, but
So
nobody.
now you guys
Oh,
are.
I didn't know this,
Caring for animals.
Ooh, nice one. There's something about caring for others takes your stress away.
sorry. Oh, I don't know about that.
Okay, I'm gonna give you,
Others.
huh?
They're all animals.
You wrote animals.
I'm gonna give you one of my biggies. This is a secret. If I was only gonna suggest one thing, this does it for me. A gratitude journal. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I have it set up at home. When I really get bad, I go in and I start writing everything I'm thankful for. And I've heard thousands of people tell me this. Everything I'm thankful for. Because we got a lot to be thankful for. I had a while where I couldn't breathe. I mean, I'm just thankful I can take a good breath. Whew, whew. I mean, if you get really thankful, it's hard to feel bad. It's hard. It's hard. Okay, anything else for the help still change? All right, guess what we're going to do now?
Hurts.
My husband had cancer twice and got over it. That's what I'm thankful for.
How beautiful is that?
That's wonderful.
Okay? Your day's not that bad when you lose the listing or the client says they don't like you. It's not that bad.
They don't know you.
Okay? It's not personal, it's not that bad. Somebody, family member gets sick or something, that's bad. Alright? You're a doctor and the patient dies on the table, that's a bad day. We go home, or I go home, oh, someone doesn't like me, I'm the close late, or the loan expired. They're big, okay, but they're not the big deals. You know what I mean? Okay. Alright. What derails us from change?
Self-pity.
Fear.
Oh, you guys are going to rip these out like 1,000 of them now, aren't you? Okay, we know these.
Confidence.
Let's do some specifics.
Best
Thanks.
friend dies.
But,
Loss.
so that would be personal catastrophe
Personal
or
loss.
personal loss.
Yeah, the person you told all your secrets to, and
Personal loss. I will put this on here because for sure, you drink too much.
So
That's
focus
not
on
going to
the
help you with
negative.
change.
It's TOO.
True, yeah.
Sorry, I had too many drinks last night.
People that focus on the negatives and not the results, how would you rate that?
Negative thinking. What else can derail us from change? And think about your own. Doesn't mean it's yours just because you say it, but things you've done.
Comfortable, you just don't want to. You're comfortable.
Complacent, can I say that?
Yeah.
Can I give you one?
Sure.
I was going to do it anyway. I guess I should have said it before the question. Gossip. I've heard people start gossiping. Oh, so-and-so, that's so stupid, and they're going to do this and this, and I saw him doing that. That doesn't help you deal with change.
No, that's horrible.
What else takes
They
you off?
keep
And we know about
changing
some of these. Come on, what else? There's some more?
Comfort zone,
Huh?
comfort zone.
We got complacent. I put that there.
Yeah, gossip doesn't
What
work.
derails us from change? Self-pity, drinking too much, or drugs.
fear of disappointing people.
We got fear and pity.
Yeah, but-
So I would say fear of failure.
Yeah.
I won't do
This is
anything.
disappointing.
I think somebody might have said, I'm just going to say stubborn. I don't want to. I don't want to change. It's the way it should have been. I know people that have done that. I watch them go all the way out of the business. I'm not going to change. They just slowly, I know some top realtors at one time, no longer in the business. I'm not going to change. I'm going to do it my way, and that's the way it is. What else can derail us from accepting change?
Education, non-education.
Non-education?
Like keeping yourself educated. keeping
Like
So
yourself-
stagnant?
Tools.
Yeah.
Stagnant? How do you spell stagnant?
STAGNAT.
I knew I was going to mess it up, so I thought I might as well ask you ahead of time.
Of not having enough money to buy all the tools they need.
The what?
Not having enough money to buy all the tools they need.
Yeah, but now I'm looking for an activity that would cause it.
Huh?
So like, I will tell you, I think TV can cause it. I know people who veg out, like 5 hours a night. That's not going to help you deal with change.
Or during the day.
Oh, they did this study, did you hear that? With the March Madness basketball games coming up, like, X billion are going to be lost because everybody's checking the scores and working stuff all day.
Criticism.
Yeah, games are starting soon,
They started.
anytime.
Today.
Is that what you're checking?
Because
No,
I
not
have
yet.
too
11,
much
yeah, they
time
started.
spent on useless things, and I'm not saying Facebook and emails are all useless, but we spend too much time with non-result
There you go.
non-result type activities.
Yeah.
I'll say wasted time. I agree with
Okay.
that.
Lack of confidence? Is that out there?
Lack of confidence? Yes, Lori?
Bad company.
Bad company?
Yeah.
Wow, who you hang around? Thank you, that's a big one.
Especially for your kids.
There's a verse in the Bible that says bad company corrupts good character.
Yep. Very good. It's who you hang around is a big deal. All right, anything else? Okay. Can we all be honest here? What are the top 3 things that help us? if we were to look at this list? What are the top 3?
I think for everybody it's different. Me, it's working out and meditation.
Okay? I'm gonna say under miracles, I'm gonna put a little there. And working
Seek
out.
advice,
What's that?
seek advice.
Right in the middle.
What else? There's no right or wrong answers. Yeah, you don't have to agree. I'm just curious, overall, when you think of all these, which ones do you think are the best to deal with?
Fellowship.
Can't read your writing.
He said spiritual.
I got it. Spiritual's already got it. I'm pretty sure we're all gonna agree in some capacity spiritual's gonna be in there. Whether it's meditation, walking in nature, I mean, that could be spiritual, or going to church. Anything else? These will all help. So I think seeking advice and fellowship are kind of is one. I think physical exercise will help us without a doubt, and I think spirituality will help us. Is that cool? All right. Which is the worst here to derail you?
Gossip.
Gossip.
Wow, that's looking right up.
Negative thinking. Negative, I agree, negative thinking.
Negative
I
thinking.
think negative thinking.
What else?
Wasted time.
Bad
Drinking
company.
too much.
Bad company,
I think all of them.
down to the bottom.
I think those are the main ones.
And gossip and negative thinking can go in this, and that is also a waste of time.
I would say negative, gossip thinking, that's one. And then,
Wasting time in bad company could be one.
wasting time in what, bad company?
Bad company.
Yeah, because you're wasting your time
You're
with
wasting
it.
time.
Okay, I'll give you those. Okay, so, if we were to bring this to a conclusion, to deal with change, the 3 things we want to focus on are fellowship and seek advice, work out, and get some kind of spiritualness, whatever that is. That make sense? These are the 3 things we want to focus on. The 3 biggest things we want to avoid: don't drink too much. I feel a little sensitive since I don't want to put that up there, but whatever, okay. Negative thinking and gossip, avoid doing that, and wasting time and hanging around the wrong people. Okay? I know we kind of know a lot of this stuff, but I think it's worth it to take the time to go over it and to see, just get some clarity. What we think about, we bring about, right? We've all heard that. So I think it's important as we deal with no listings out there. My buyer can't find a house, what are you going to do? Well, go to church, take a walk, go get some exercise, and go seek advice from some smart people. All right? Just trying to oversimplify it. This is where we need to be. The people who do this and to do that, I think, and I know our president's saying it's going to happen for sure, there's going to come a time it's going to get a lot easier. There's going to come a time when this is going to all kind of settle down, and those realtors and those lenders that are doing this stuff, they're going to get rewarded. Why? Because you guys are building relationships right now. David sits and talks to that guy for 3 hours, doesn't get the paperwork signed. Nothing may not happen now. He may come back 3 years from now and say, David, I need you to list 7 homes for me. I mean, we don't know. But I believe those relationships are being built, and staying in the business and doing what is right, you're going to get the benefit. Okay? But you're going to have to change. All right? So if you figure out everything today, I think you've got about a year, because it's going to all change again. I guarantee you, there's going to come a time when we're not going to be able to get houses sold. There's going to be too many houses on the market. All right? It'll come. I don't know when. I'd like it to happen sooner. So, questions on any of this? Okay.
That's what I was thinking too.
Last handout. This is just a page from Who Are My Cheese Blown Up?
Is this going with it?
What is that?
I don't know.
Sorry, I don't think I got that. If there's any strange pages, let me know. So, the handwriting is on the wall. Change happens. They keep moving the cheese. Anticipate change. Get ready for the cheese to move, because it's going to. Monitor change. We talked about that. Smell the cheese often so you know when it's getting old. Check in on that. Adapt to change quickly. The quicker you let go of the old cheese, the sooner you can enjoy the new cheese. I haven't let go of them changing the radio time for me driving in every morning. I'm working on it, okay? And then just change. Move with the cheese. Last, enjoy the change. Savor the adventure and enjoy the taste of new cheese. And last, be ready to change quickly and enjoy it again and again, because they will keep moving the cheese. All right? Any questions? It's a great book. If you haven't read it in 3 months, I'd encourage you to pick it up and read it again. And pass it out to people you know. Give it as gifts. People love that kind of stuff. All right? Any comments, or you guys have any
I have
news?
an extra copy in the trunk of my car.
There you go. Cool. Any other news, Connect news, or anything like that?
I don't think so. Did you have any updates for us?
No, just pay attention to contracts.
More than ever.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Have a good rest of your week.